Welcome to Future is Now, Designing Today's Library for Tomorrow. My name is Nicole Olala, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. This presentation is a brief look at a diverse selection of architectural efforts to build viable and sustainable library buildings. Throughout history, architects around the world have worked assiduously to create and maintain spaces that concurrently preserve the past, serve the present, and anticipate the future. In his 2013 book, The Library, A World History, James Campbell asserts that in today's world, the role of libraries is changing. He proffers that as a result, architecture of libraries needs to change with it. Further, it is tempting to assume that this need for change is new, and that until recently, libraries have been relatively static in their form. This has never been the case. The history of libraries has been a story of constant change and adaptation. In other words, when creating or envisioning a new project or restoration, the designer is well served to be mindful that, in fact, the future is now. In the year 859, the Al-Qarawiyin Library of Fez, Morocco, was founded by a singular woman, Fatima el-Fariha. Over time, the library fell into decay and was subsequently closed to the public. As a child, Canadian-Moroccan architect Aziza Chouani recalls gazing longingly into the closed building. In 2012, Chouani was tasked with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as an architect and as a woman to restore the library's ability to do its job, preserve history. Beyond that, she was most impassioned about finding a way to give the community access to the library's greatest treasures, which she did by creating a manuscript viewing room. According to the library's website, the New York Public Library was funded by a $2.4 million bequeathment by former Governor Samuel J. Tilden, who believed that to truly become a great city, New York needed a free library and reading room. Dr. John Shaw Billings, the name director, envisioned an enormous reading room topping 7 floors of stacks and the most rapid delivery system in the world to get the library's resources as swiftly as possible into the hands of those who requested them. Today, the library serves some 18 million patrons who come through its doors annually, and the library's website receives 22 million visits annually from more than 200 countries. The crowning achievement of the Elmer L. Anderson Library on the Twin Cities University of Minnesota campus, which opened to the general public in 2000, is the underground storage area, twin caverns carved out of the Mississippi River bluffs. The caverns are maintained at 62 degrees Fahrenheit and approximately 50% relative humidity, a perfect environment for storing the archives, manuscripts, materials, and unique ephemera belonging to the university and other Minnesota libraries. According to the architect Mr. Lee, the site of the Luyuan Library on the outskirts of Beijing, China, which requires the patron to walk 5 minutes from the center of the village, was chosen to provide a setting of clear thoughts when one consciously takes the effort to head for the reading room. Most notable is the material utilized for the facade of the building, wooden sticks commonly gathered by local villagers for cooking fuel. Mr. Lee states that they determined to use this ordinary material in an extraordinary way, cladding the building in familiar textures in a way that is strikingly sensitive. Denmark's Dock 1, designed by Schmidt Hammer Lassen Architects, opened in 2015. Kim Holst Jensen, senior partner, explains the vision. Inside, the open layout creates visual connections between the various functions and invites the visitor to be inspired by the vast amount of information that inevitably meets them. Openness encourages social interaction and the exchange of information. Dock 1 became a vibrant space for people of all generations, interests, and cultures. Our concept with interweaving activities and functions supports this synergy. Similar to Dock 1, the Oodi Public Library in Helsinki, Finland, was designed to express the vision and values of the community. Director Anna Maria Sonvara states, "To us, the library is an institution that combines both traditional and new elements. The library should promote equality, freedom of speech, and active citizenship. It should support and grow the skills of citizens, help them to gain control over various information channels, narrow the digital divide, and teach media literacy." Alain de Botton, in his work The Architecture of Happiness, proposes that buildings speak, and on topics which can be readily discerned. They speak of democracy or aristocracy, openness or arrogance, welcome or threat, a sympathy for the future or a hankering for the past. He continues, "The notion that buildings speak helps us to place at the very center of our architectural conundrums the questions of the values we want to live by, rather than merely of how we want things to look." The Library of Muyinga in Burundi is an ardent and organic response to the community's call for a library and school to serve primarily the marginalized deaf and blind community in a traditionally oral culture. The project employed local builders and workers and locally sourced and produced materials, clay, eucalyptus wood, bamboo, the sisal plant, and a co-design process with the community. Local weavers used the sisal plant to create an overarching hammock where children can play and read above the library space. All of this establishes the Muyinga Library as an exemplar for the future of library design, seeking to truly serve the peculiarities of respective communities. Specific to library buildings, the depository is tasked with safeguarding invaluable collections of information. The discourse of architecture offers a distinctive opportunity to not only express, but tangibly manifest respect for each other, our stories, and the unique aspirations and requirements of diverse communities. Architecture aims at eternity. Thank you.